Hey, Frontline fans, welcome back to Comic Frontline and Fans. You're with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all important comic book review so you fans can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, Frontline fans, we're going to be talking about the Amazing Spider Man issue number 15, otherwise known as Spider-Verse, the Epilogue. That's right, fans. Now, in part 6, I felt that the book didn't have a really good conclusion to the series, and it was just like everything was up in the air. You don't know what happened to the characters. And in this epilogue, I was kind of hoping we get closure here. This book is written by Dan Slott. The artwork is done by Giuseppe Comicoli in this particular issue. Artwork was pretty solid in this book. I really enjoyed this two-page spread. Like the paneling, like usual. I think you get always the portals are really good. There was a lot of action scenes in this issue, like the facial expression here from Gwen. But there was a lot of battle scenes that were going on in this book, which I thought were really cool. And then when you get to kind of like this is an awesome page right here. And then when you get towards the end of the book, we get a page like this. So yeah, artwork was very solid. I like Macaulay's artwork. And sometimes his facial expressions can be a little bit off, but I enjoy his artwork. He's a good artist. So what was the story about, and did I like the conclusion? Last issue I liked, but I didn't think it was great. I thought it was kind of an average, especially to the conclusion to a major, event. And this is supposedly the best Spider-Man event ever. In my opinion, when I got done reading this, I kind of felt like, okay, I got better closure here. I felt maybe this just could have been a part 7 and we just end it. So basically what happens in this issue, we get to see all our Spider-Men, they start leaving. And it's kind of funny because here on Frontline Live on Tuesday, we talked about it, like what were our predictions on this particular issue. We kind of predicted, oh yeah, watch all the Spider-Mans just jump through their portals and say, see you later, peace. And it kind of happened here. A lot of them did just leave. But when they did leave, the book became that much better because it only focused on a few characters. And I felt that if you read this series just like this with a few characters, it would have been much more impactful for the reader. Now, this book really starts off with May. And May winds up going back home, and she finds out that her brother and her mom, Mary Jane, are alive. Benji's all well and good. And it was a really heartfelt moment in here because Ben from his universe, he wants to stay with Mayday Parker here, and it was really cool because in this issue you wind up getting to see Mary Jane dust off the old costume from Peter's, from his old Spider-Man's costume, and it was kind of like Mayday is starting a new chapter in her life, and it says, "As of today, I am no longer Spider Girl." She goes, "I am now Spider Woman." So this means that there's going to be a new chapter in her life, and hopefully there'll be a new Spider-Woman book in MC2 universe. So really interested to see what happens with Mayday Parker in the future, and I'm sure fans of Mayday will be excited about that because they specifically focused on her there. Makes you really feel that there's going to be a book in the future with her. So after all the other, Spider-Man wind up leaving, we find out that Superior is just completely pissed off. Kind of becomes like a full circle thing because in Amazing Spider-Man that happened a few months ago, the Superior Spider-Man, we get to see the whole implosion thing. The world was going to blow up, and you get to see Superior come back, and he didn't know what was going on. Well, in this issue, it kind of comes full circle. You see that in this reality, he learns the fate that he's going to die. Like he's physically going to die. He's going to be erased from existence because of this epiphany that he has in the future. So he starts destroying the strands of the Great Web or whatnot. In this issue, you get to see Julia Carpenter come back, and she's like, "Oh, the webs, they're all gone," and that's all you see of her. And we've seen that before in the past, but they make it a thing to show her in here. So after a pretty lengthy battle, between Superior and some of the other Spider characters like Anya and Spider Woman and whatnot. We find out what the swords mean from from the inheritors, and we find out that there needs to be a person in charge of the Great Web the entire time, and we learn the identification of the webmaster or whatnot, and it was Karn. It was an older version of himself. So he feels that he has to take on the responsibilities of this great web, and he's going to have to repair it. There were some good moments here again when Peter Parker comes to the realization that he's good at being a leader, following, leading these Spider-Men, and he finally, puts Doc Ock in his place and just sits there and says, I am the superior Spider-Man, and they send him off and packing, and it was a good scene seeing him where it comes full circle where he doesn't remember a single thing, and it was hilarious here. We find out a couple of things in here that could lead into Secret Wars, um, where we wind up seeing that Earth 833 is gone due to the incursions, and Spider-Man UK can't go back to his world, and so he stays behind, and he wants to help repair the strands, the web strands or whatnot. And same with Anya, she wants to stay behind too. There were some funny moments in here, where Spider-Man is back to his comical self when Spider-Man UK goes back, and Spider-Man's like pip pip cheerio and all that good stuff, and there's some good comical moments in here, and you get to see what's going on with the inheritors, how they're living in this bunker and eating off of spider people or spider like spiders, mutated spiders and whatnot. And we think that Kane is lost, but by the time you get to the end of the issue, we see that his hand pops out. So yes, this will not be the last time we see Kane, and we get to see the other Spider-Woman and Spider-Man go back to Earth 616, and it was great because just for these 2 pages, after all this time of seeing Spider-Man dealing with these crazy space-time, earth-shattering events and everything, he makes a thing himself going, I've been through all this stuff. Can't I ever go back to just the petty thieves and this and that? And right away he gets a distress call from a lady who's getting her purse snatched, and it's just some common thief burglar, and he punches the character out, and he goes and he sits there, and he goes, who, I'm kidding, there is no small stuff. And then someone said thank you to him, and he's like, wow, someone said thank you to me, am I in the right dimension? So again, there were some good character moments in here, and this is what I was hoping for in Spider-Verse. I really enjoyed this issue. There was characters who really shined here, like Mayday. Peter really shined in here. Karn finally revealed himself. You get to see what he was about, what his mission was to be about. I liked seeing again that battle between Superior and Peter, and this was really coming to that full circle, that real true final battle that maybe people were looking for with Superior and Peter Parker, with them having a straight out brawl. So I thought this issue had something for a lot of Spider-Man fans. Whether you were a Mayday fan, whether you were a Peter Parker fan, whether you were a Superior fan, even a Spider-Man UK fan, and it gave you hopes to going forward for Kane. And I really enjoyed this particular issue. This was the issue, one of the best issues since part 1 of this for me. This is what Spider-Verse should have been about every single issue. Eliminate some of all the Spider characters and focused on a few of them, and this would have made it a much better event. So I really, really enjoyed this issue. I had a lot of fun with it. It gave me a lot of closure, and looking forward to seeing what happens to some of these characters. And I gotta give this one a 5 out of 5. Really enjoyed this one, fans. So guys, leave me your comments below on what you thought of the epilogue of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 15. And like I said, this should have been like a part 7, and it would have been fine with me. So guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline. And until the next comic book review, you can check out comicfrontline.com, comicrelated.com. If you want to see more of my individual reviews, you guys can check out Comic Book Corner 2.0, and you can also catch me on Zone 4 each and every month, which is a podcast on zone4podcast.com. So fans, again, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spiderslayer signing off. Thanks for watching, fans. Take care. Bye.